Very good morning, students. So today we are going to see the concept of market. So what is a market in economics? So a market is a place where two parties can gather to facilitate the exchange of goods and services. This market may be a physical retail outlet, whether people meet face to face, or it can be a virtual online market where there will be no direct contact, but buyers and sellers will be contacting online to buy goods and services. So in economics, it has to no reference to a place, but to a commodity which is being bought and sold. So for example, if we speak of cotton, then we will call it as a cotton market. If we talk about wheat, then we will call that as a wheat market. So in economics, market is particularly refers to a commodity market, not the regular market which we see in our day-to-day life, but it is a commodity market. So going to the market. So one important concept in markets is demand. So what is a demand? So demand for a commodity refers to the desire backed by the necessary purchasing power. Mere desire is not a demand. So your wish to buy a product will not fulfill a demand. It should fulfill two elements. One, willingness to buy a product. That means you have a willingness to buy that product. Secondly, and that willingness should be backed by a purchasing power. That is your ability or capacity to purchase a commodity. Definition of a demand is demand means the various quantities of goods that would be purchased at a particular price and not merely the desire of a thing. So with this understanding of a demand, we will move on to a law of demand. So there is one law in demand. So what this law says is, law of demand shows the relation between the price and quantity demanded of a product in the market. That means you will study the relationship between the price and quantity demanded. So in the words of Alfred Marshall, the amount demand increases with a fall in price and diminishes with a rise in price. There will be an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. So when we keep this law of demand, when we explain this in a following demand schedule. So demand schedule is nothing but a tabular column where an hypothetical example is given in the PPT. See, here we are comparing the price of apple to its quantity demanded. So when the price of apple is 10, the quantity demanded is only one apple. When the price of apple is decreasing from rupees 10 to 8, 6, 4, 2, the quantity demanded is increased from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This means whenever there is an decrease in the price of a price of a product, then the quantity demanded will be increased. So here we can see the demand schedule as well as the graphical representation of this demand schedule, which gives us the demand curve. So the law of demand may be explained with the following demand schedule and demand curve. So as I said earlier, here we can see the demand schedule, the same table which we saw in the last slide. So the price of an apple from rupees 10 to 2, and the quantity demanded, how the quantity demanded behaved with the change in the price. So when we represent this schedule in a graph, so we will get a demand curve. It's a downward sloping demand curve. We will measure price in x-axis and quantity demanded in y-axis. So The demand curve DD shows an inverse relationship between the price and the quantity demanded of an apple. So it is a downward sloping curve because there is an inverse relationship between the price and quantity demanded. So the above law is based on some assumptions. So while studying the statement of law of demand, we studied that there is an inverse relationship, but for that there is something called other things remains constant. There are some things which has to be remain constant for this law to be applicable. So what are those constant things or assumptions the law is based on? The income of a consumer remains unchanged. Second, the price of related goods, it can be either complementary good or other goods. The price of other goods will also be substitute goods. It might be a complementary good or substitute good. The price of these related goods should remain the same. There should not be any change. At the same time, the taste and preferences of the consumer remains the same. There should not be any sudden change in the taste of a consumers or preference of a consumers. Suddenly there should not be a change in them. At the same time, all the units of the goods are homogeneous. So products should be the same. Commodity should be a normal good. It should not be any luxurious good. It should be a normal good. There should be perfect competition in the market. The market competition should be a perfect competitive market. And last and final one is there should not be any new invention or discovery of the product which we are dealing the demand. So there should not be any new discovery of the product. With these assumptions, we can see the law of demand states if the above assumptions said to be constant, there will be an inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. So while studying law of demand, you should be in a position called a consumer. So you have to look it from the consumer point of view. So for a consumer, how a consumer behaves, that will be depicted in this law of demand. So as a consumer, what I think is, with a rise in the product price, the quantity demanded will be reduced. So there will be an inverse relationship. So on an average, the price will be the major factor indicating the demand for the product. Understood? So with this law of demand, we will move on to supply concept of the market. So demand and supply are the core concepts of a market. It is like blood of a market. Without these two concepts going parallelly, there will not be a successful market. So now we saw demand, how the law of demand works. So that is from consumer side. Now we are talking about supply. Now we are from producer side. What is a supply? So as I said, supply and demand are two important concepts that link the market behavior of the consumer with price. Supply. So we will come to the meaning of supply. What is a supply? Supply is the producer's willingness and ability to supply a given good at various price points, holding all else constant. This is the key point here. An increase in price will increase the producer's revenues. So there will be willing to supply more. So as I said, if we are talking about supply, we are from producer's point of view. So whenever there is an increase in price, what will happen to the producer? His revenue will increase. So when he is selling the product at a high price, then his margin of revenue will be high. So the producer will be willing to supply more. He want to sell more and gain the profit. At the same time, a decrease in price will reduce revenues. So the producers will supply less. So whenever there is a price reduction, the producer has to supply the product at a lower price, which will result in low margin rate of revenue, for which the producer will tend to supply less. So this means that supply refers to the total supply offered for sale at a price. So as if the demand, supply also related to the price. So this means what it says, supply refers to total supply offered for a sale at a particular price. At each and every price of a product, how much is the supply by retailers as well as wholesalers. Okay. So in one single line, supply is defined as how much of a good will be offered for sale at a given time. In a particular time, how much product is available in the market for sale or for the available to the consumers by the producer at particular price in a given time. So this is we call as supply. So as in like demand, we even have supply of law of supply. Like in demand we have law of demand, in supply we have law of supply, which shows the relationship between the price and quantity supplied. So come, let us see what is law of supply. The law of supply states that other things being constant. So as I said earlier, these other things remain constant should be noted. Okay, we will see that in assumptions point, what is the other things remains constant. So going to the statement back, the law of supply states that other things being constant, the price of a commodity has direct influence on the quantity supplied. So as I said earlier, whenever the price of a product is high, the producer's revenue will be increased. So the producer will be willing to supply more products at that higher price to the market in order to gain the revenue, in order to capture the market, in order to see the profits. Okay. So the price of a commodity has direct influence on the quantity supplied. Quantity supplied. As the price of a commodity rises, its supply is extended. As if the price falls, the supply is contract. That means with the reduce in the price, the margin revenue of the producer will be reduced, and the same the supply will be reduced. So there exists a direct relationship between the supply and quantity demanded, quantity supplied. So there exists direct relationship between the supply and quantity supplied. So in demand we will have indirect relationship. There is opposite relation. Whenever the price increases, the demand for the product will be reduced, because there I am consumer, I want to see benefit of mine. So when my price is high, I won't go and buy that product much. So when the price is less, I'll try to buy that product more and save it or keep it for me, for my present future use also, because the price is less. As a consumer, I have to see my revenue margin. So going in the direct sorry, in the law of demand, there is indirect relationship between quantity demanded and price. Coming to the supply, I am a producer. I have to see the revenue margin of my production. So, from supply side, being a producer, I want to manage my revenue. So, I will supply more product when the price of the product is high. So, to capture my revenue. So, for example, in the market, if there is a lot of demand for bananas, okay, so because of health benefit or something, I'm a fruit merchant. What I will do, there is demand for bananas, or people want to buy bananas, then that means people are willing to buy at higher price, because that is the need in the market. People are ready. I'm offering apples, oranges and all, but people are looking for bananas, where they are ready to pay it at a high price. What I will do, immediately, instead of supplying oranges and apples, I will try to increase my supply of bananas and to capture the market, or do capture the revenue from the market. So this is how it will happen. So from demand side, it is indirect relationship, and from my consumer side, when it is supply, it is from a producer side, and there is a direct relationship. In demand, they are let me call as enemies. In supply, let me call as friends. They have direct relationship. Okay. So it's just law of supply is just opposite of law of demand. Why? Because law of demand is from consumers benefit, law of supply is from producers benefit. So in other words, large quantities will be supplied at high price. So I'm telling in other words, so what it is, whenever the price is high, I'll tend to supply in a large quantities. Whenever the price is low, I'll tend to supply in a lower quantities, because I don't want to face any revenue loss. Understood? So like in the demand for the law of demand, even in the law of supply also, we will have supply schedule, supply curve, assumptions and everything. So we will see. So this is a supply schedule. So supply schedule is a tabular statement that gives different prices of a commodity and the quantities which a producer is willing to supply per unit of time at each price, assuming other factors affecting the supply to be constant. What it is? It is a tabular statement of recording different prices of a commodity and quantities supplied for that prices. Okay. So assuming other factors affecting supply will be constant. We are assuming this relationship only with the other factors affecting other supply is constant. So the below is an hypothetical supply schedule. So as in the law of demand, we have another tabular column where we have recorded a price of a product, let me say apple, and the quantity supplied for each different price. So the above I said, no, the supply, other factors affecting the supply to be constant. We will see that in assumptions. What are all the factors which will affect my supply and which will be constant? Okay, that we will see in assumptions. Now we will go through this hypothetical example. So the price of, I'm putting the price from 1 to 5 and quantity supplied from 5 to 25. So whenever the price of apple is rupees 1 rupee, I am supplying 5 units because the price is very less. The margin of revenue for a producer like me is very less. So I will supply only 5. Suddenly the price rose to 2 Price rose to 2. The quantity supply is also increased from 5 to 10. Similarly, with the rise in the price from 2 rupees to 3 rupees, 3 rupees to 4 rupees, 4 rupees to 5 rupees, the quantity supplied is also increased from 5 to 10 units, 10 to 15 units, 15 to 20 units, and 20 units to 25 units, for which the producer wants to gain more revenue from the given price rise. Okay, with the given price rise, the producer want to gain more margin. So that's why with the rise in price, he wants to increase his supply also. So supply curve. So what is a supply curve? Supply curve is a graphical representation of supply schedule. The relationship between price and supply can be shown by drawing the supply curve. So it is nothing but a graphical representation. The above we have one tabular column. When we represent that graphically, we can even know the relationship in a graphical form, which will be very easy to understand. So the supply curve for a product depicts the direct relationship from the price of that commodity and the quantity producers wish to supply at that price. So see here, in x-axis we measured quantity supplied. In y-axis we measured the price of the quantity. So when the price of a product is 1, the producer is willing to supply 5 units. So when the price increased from 1 to 2, quantity supplied is also increased to 10 units. When the price increased from rupees 2 to 3, the quantity supplied has also been increased to 15 units. Likewise, with the rise of price from 1 rupee to 5 rupees, producer has increased his supply from 5 units to 25 units, which means he is trying to increase his supply and gain more revenue from the rise in the price. So on the basis of the schedule given, we can draw the supply curve taking quantity supplied. As I said, x-axis we measured quantity supplied and y-axis we measured price. The same. The SS curve, the locus of the points of these quantity supplied, when we join all those points and draw a line, we will get supply curve, and this is an upward sloping curve from left to right, showing larger supplies at a higher price. Understood? So in demand curve, it is a downward sloping curve from left to right, which shows inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. In supply, it is an upward sloping curve from left to right, which shows direct relationship between the price and quantity supplied. So coming to the assumptions of the supply. So I said other things remaining the same. So what are those other things which will affect the supply in the market? So first and foremost is technology. The technology we use to in the production, whether it is a labor intensive or capital intensive, whatever may be, that technology remains, there will be no change. It should be constant. At the same time, there is no change in the price of factors of production. What are factors of production? Land, labor, capital, organization. Then what is the price of factors of production? For land, we will pay rent. For labor, we will give wages. For capital, we will give interest. For organization, we will get profit. So these are price of the factors of production. So there should not be any change in the price of the factors of production. At the same time, there should not be any change in the number of firms in the market. There should not be any change in the total number of firms. That is your competitors. Your competitors should be remain. Suddenly, one new company should not come and capture your market. So there should not be any change in the number of firms in the market. So at the same time, there should not be any change in the goals of a firm, your targets, your sales targets. So there should not be any change in the goals. At the same time, no change in the seller's expectations regarding future prices. There should not be any change in the seller's expectations regarding how the price of the product will change in the future. Tax and subsidy policies of the product should remain the same. No sudden new policy, new tax ratio, new subsidies point should not come or should not be imposed. There should not be any change. The existing tax policy and subsidy policy should be the same. Again, there should not be any change in the price of other goods. The other goods here I mean complementary goods, substitute goods. So the price of all these products or other goods should be the same. If any change in these factors like state of technology, prices of factors of production, competitive firms, my firm's goal or future expectations of your price changes, tax policies, government policies, price of other products will definitely will impact the supply of a particular product. So without these, with the assumption that there is no change in these factors, we will assume, or the law says that there will be a direct relationship between price of a product and quantity supplied. So from a producer's point of view, supply will be a direct relationship. So whenever a price is high, I will supply more, but the demand will be reducing. It is opposite in the demand section. So whenever the price is less, producer will tend to supply less, but the consumer will be willing to buy more. So these are two concepts of law of demand and law of supply. Thank you.